YouTube, I'm back at you with another video. This time I'm doing a story time and you on OK Life channel. I'm pretty much just gonna get into details of how I went to California by myself. If you haven't already, you could look at my video. Hopefully you see it on the screen and you see in that little box and say click here. But I'm gonna get into detail of how I went to California by myself. It's kind of a long story. I wasn't exactly supposed to go by myself. I wouldn't say by myself, but I would say I was actually supposed to meet someone, and it's a very long story. So instead of just getting into the long story, I just get to this point of how I went to California by myself. Okay, there was this person, shout out to that person, because you know who you are, you know who we are, and I'm gonna give you a shout out on my video. Hopefully you're watching this, and hopefully let's just say their name do not matter on this story. Since my mom is a very huge Harry Potter fan, and you know, I used to be scared of Harry Potter, like especially the first one when the guy was like a two-headed guy. So this person, you could say he was a two-faced person. I'm sorry, I just don't want to throw no shade at them, but you know, as soon as you hear my story, you probably know why. But I'm gonna name this person since, you know, Voldemort is kind of like a hated person in the Harry Potter story, and he was a person that you said the name, what's that name? I forgot what they used to call him. The name that should not be named. So he's gonna be called Lord Voldemort in the story. Okay, so what happened is Lord Voldemort and I were kind of close friends at the time, and we used to date. I'm sorry, you know, a lot of people don't know this, but I never dated before. I don't know the whole idea of breaking up. I don't know how to handle having an ex. I don't know how to handle my ex being my best friend, well, my friend at the time before he was my ex, or you know, my boyfriend. So he was like my first relationship, you know, the first guy I ever had a relationship with. And so what happened is, you know, Lord Voldemort and I agreed to mutually be friends. It was both of our decision. We both agreed that we should be friends and work out things with each other. And so what happened is, Lord Voldemort and I were, you know, video chatting, catching up, and he was, you know, at the time he was far away from my hometown. He used to live in our hometown, but he ended up being stationed somewhere else due to military reasons. So yeah, what happened is me and him were video chatting, and we were catching up and, you know, trying to see how life is doing. You know, he would ask me how was work, and I would ask him how I was doing, you know, and how he was doing. And so we kind of just sat there, and we was just like, he was just telling me how wonderful California was and how beautiful it was, and that I needed to visit there. So I was just like, oh, okay, I would definitely go visit California. And he was like, you know, telling me that if I go out to California, he was gonna visit me. Well, he's gonna, you know, visit, no, see me at the airport, and pretty much we was gonna, you know, he was gonna introduce me to California. So I was cool with that. And so pretty much this is around June of this year that he wanted me to go visit him, and I kind of just like, oh, I don't know, California was so expensive. I told him that the first time, and he was just like, oh, okay, I understand. And then that all of a sudden I did my research where I could go to California for a very cheap price than spending like $500 for a plane ticket from where I was. So I'm in Texas, and California from Texas was very expensive, very, very expensive. And so I end up, you know, changing my mind around July, and I was just like, wait a minute, I'm definitely gonna go to California. So when I told him that, he was just like, wow, really, you are? And you know, he pretty much knew the days I was going, and I asked him, was he okay with it, and you know, was he still gonna meet up with me? And he was like, yeah, I definitely will, I definitely will. So I ended up buying my plane tickets, and I ended up buying the place that I was staying at. Me, I'm a type of person, I'm super prepared. It's just like I had, like I said, you could blame it on me. I had kind of, that instinct that I knew something bad was going to happen. So I made sure to buy a hotel room or a place for me to stay so I won't have to exactly depend on him. And thank goodness I did, because you later on find out in the story. Hopefully, if you haven't caught, thank goodness, because I did ask him at first, can I stay with one of his pretty much his work co-workers or something like that, and he was like, yeah, definitely. But then I was just like, oh no, let me just get a place to stay, because I just don't want to exactly be, interrupting somebody's home or something like that, and especially when they don't know me and I don't know them. So I end up buying a place where I can actually stay for cheap. And so what happened is, months later, leading up to the trip, he was kind of flirtatious. Let's just admit to that. Like, he was my ex. I don't feel that way about him no more. I feel pretty much as a friend, and I really do care about him as a friend. So he pretty much came off as flirtatious, saying things like flirtatious things, and I would just sit there and I'd just be like, dude, we're not together, we're broken up, there's no reason for us to be talking flirtatious or whatever it is. So later on, hopefully I wish I could have brought those messages that he sent me, but it's just like, it was kind of impossible to do that because it was like on Snapchat. So he pretty much broke his phone during that time for me to even to take a screenshot of the Snapchat, and I wish I could, but I only have like text messages from his phone. Is that Lord Voldemort in the story, he was flirting with me. I pretty much rejected him every chance I could get. And so later on, whenever it came down to the trip and everything was all paid for and I figured out everything, I pretty much wanted to know, like, do he wanted to go skiing, water skiing, kayaking and all this kind of stuff. And me, I was gonna do it regardless, even if he didn't want to be part of the trip. I was gonna go regardless. And so do the trip, do some of the things regardless, because I know he was a very busy person. I know him being in the military made him a very busy person. So what happened is, like, the week before I was about to go to my trip, he all suddenly came up with, no, I'm sorry, I've skipped a part of the story. Okay, it was like the beginning of September before I was about to go to my trip. I pretty much told him like some guy rules, since I was putting my money to it and he never spent a penny or a dime in the trip. I thought there should be guy rules, especially him being flirtatious. So I told him that, first of all, I don't want him lying to me. It's just like I said, there was just some things in past that he has shown me that he's not a trustworthy person. So that's why I told him I don't want him lying to me. And so, and also I told him I'm not gonna argue with you. Like, when I'm on vacation like that, like California, that was a vacation trip. I'm not about to argue with Sally or Susie or Tiffany. I'm not about to argue with nobody. Okay, I'm not about to argue with no guy who I have a past relationship with. I'm not about to argue with him. So, and then also I didn't feel comfortable having him in my room where I was staying at. So he pretty much, I guess you could say, he was okay with it at first, but he kind of questioned it. It was just like, what you mean, like, you don't want me in your room? What do you mean that you don't this, you don't that? I just told him I feel comfortable that way. If you don't, that that's your problem. Okay, so, all right, that's just the deal of the story. That if you agree with these rules, you can. If you don't, that's up to you. But the week before my trip, he ended up telling me, like, around September the 17th, that was like a week before my trip, he was like, oh, just to let you know, I don't like the guy rules you gave me. And I'm just like, what you mean? He said, oh, well, I feel comfortable. I understand why you don't want me in your room. That's completely understandable. I was like, okay. But he told me he just don't feel comfortable with, he just feel, I don't know what he was saying. He said that it was so unnecessary that I put a rule for us arguing, and then also for her, no, also for what else, for lying. He thought that was an unnecessary rule, and I'm just like, what you mean? Like, I'm, if you gonna argue with me, or if you want to lie to me, you might as well not see me. That's why, I feel like. But I'm not about to go to California just to argue with somebody. I'm not about to, pay all this kind of money just to be lied to. If we're gonna be friends, we might as well have a clean start. You don't lie to me, I don't lie to you. And so he pretty much just said that was an unnecessary rule, and he didn't like that. And then I don't know where in the world this came from. I didn't ask him none of this. He was just like, guess what, I'm getting married in a year, and then I'm also gonna be a stepfather. I was just like, okay, so what this had to do with me going out there, especially when you invited me there? I already spent like close to $500 going towards California, going to my trip to California. And so he was just like, I don't want to see you, or he didn't pretty much say that. He pretty much, instead of talking it out with me, he just instantly blocked me off of social media. And this is something he would do all the time. Like, he would just block me off of social media, and so I won't talk to him. And then he would just be like, it would not be like a day he would block me. It would be like months. It would be like weeks. It could be whenever, unless, he feels comfortable where he wants to talk to you again. So, I'm sitting there like, what just happened? I'm just like, what just happened? And so later on, I end up telling my family about this. I end up telling my friends about this. I definitely end up telling my mom about this. Some people know of him. People have met him before. People who are, who knew of us together. They knew he was my first boyfriend, and they pretty much knew me as pretty much his girlfriend at the time. And so I told my mom about the whole situation, and my grandmother, oh my goodness, she was about to have a heart attack. She was just like, you're going to California by yourself? That's ridiculous. Well, she wasn't really over exaggerating like that, but she was just like, like, I'm really worried, I'm really scared for you, I don't want you to go by yourself. And my mom, she was just like, go. She was just like, go, you're 23 years old, why not go? And I'm just like, really? And she was just like, my mom was just like, when my mom heard the story how Lord Baltimore treated me, she was just like, girl, enjoy your trip. You did your research. You did a whole month of pretty much researching stuff. You called every place. You stayed on there. Pretty much I was calling every place like crazy. I swear, like, California's like 2 hours behind us, and I swear, every time I had to book a place, I call at least around 11 o'clock, which that would be like kind of, I think it was like 9 o'clock in the morning over there. So my mom was just like, go, have fun. If he wasn't gonna go see you, I still was gonna talk you into that trip. My mom was pretty much like the biggest support right now on this trip, because she was just like, Kaylin, you should go, enjoy yourself, take a lot of pictures, make sure you tag your location, make sure you tell us where you're going, make sure you put everybody in a group chat, make sure you tell everybody where you're staying at, where you're going, all your schedule. So I was happy, and so I ended up going on this trip. And of course, I took the plane, and everything's in that little video. Just click it right here. I'll put it right there. Just click on it if you want to watch it. And so I end up going. I mean, like, me going to California by myself, that was the best experience in my life. I mean, like, that was something I never experienced. I mean, like, I'm gonna try to go on more trips, hopefully in the future, and you'll be able to see it hopefully in the future. But yeah, my mom, she was pretty much the biggest support out of all of it, and she just told me to go, have fun, enjoy life. And so I ended up going to California. Sorry if I keep on doing that, but I ended up going to California and I had a really good time. And I swear, if I haven't did my research, I found out Beyonce was there. So yes, Beyonce. I went to go to the Beyonce concert, Beyonce and Jay-Z on the Run concert over there. It was like, you know, that was like my first concert. I never went to a concert in my whole entire life, and that was like my first concert. That was so exciting. I was just like, oh my goodness, this is like the first time I ever saw a celebrity in real life. And you know, also I went kayaking. I wanted to go swimming with the sharks, but it got canceled. But it was like, I went to La Jolla. Was so beautiful. It was like the best experience in my life. And also hit like this meeting, that experience with him ended up turning into a silver lining, because I ended up seeing Beyonce. I ended up going kayaking. It's just like everything, you know, that I went to LA. I went to Walk of Fame. I saw all kind of different things out there, and it wasn't something I was used to, being a small town girl. But it was the most best experience ever. I was just like, dude, I swear, if I let this one little guy, Lord Baltimore, if I let him put in my mindset that I couldn't do this, I swear I would have wasted my money, wasted my time, and then, you know, just to realize I would never be able to experience that at all. And good thing I was able to go to California. But if you want me to make more story times in the future, please like, comment, subscribe for more videos in the future.